Hi, my name is Dan.
And I'm Marianne.
And we'd like to welcome you to this edition of the Just Like News. This is our mailbag section. Today is September
The 1st.
Wow. The show's coming fast. What we've done is we've gathered some messages and some emails and some posts and things from Facebook and phone calls, and we've compiled them. And what we'd like to do is share them with you. So our first one comes from Stacy. Stacy wants to know the big question. Where can I get hangers?
Target has junior sizes and adult sizes and toddler sizes, and so does Walmart. 10 for $1, I believe they are.
10 for $1. So if there's a 100 clothing limit, most you're going to spend is $10.
$10.
Right? And the majority of our shoppers are also consignors, and consignors are shoppers, and so on. So we used to remove the hangers as folks would exit from purchasing their goods. We don't do that anymore. So that means that if you're also a shopper, some hangers are going to go home with you if you're shopping for that kind of stuff. So, what about those plastic kind of flat, sort of brittle hangers? Any problems with those? I mean, hangers, and if you got them, use them.
I want you to use any kind you have. I don't want you to have to go out and buy any if you don't have to.
What I'm getting at with that is there's a hanger out there that's made out of plastic. You can kind of tell they're kind of brittle, and once that thing breaks off, now they don't hang anymore, and they wind up. That's no good.
It's like more of a plastic texture instead of like the plastic.
Rubbery sort of thing.
Another great place for hangers is try Craigslist. Sometimes people will put a post on looking for hangers, or people might have hangers and they put them on Craigslist. And then I know some consignors have good luck with Kohl's. Kohl's, they went up and asked the manager if they could save them at the end of the day and go in the tubs where they remove them when people are buying clothing items. And Kohl's and I believe Target both were willing to work with some of the consignors.
The big thing is just to make sure the hangers actually fit the items.
That is correct. If you have adult sizes, junior sizes, and you put one of those little toddler hangers on it, or if you shake your hanger and the clothing item comes off, it's not going to stay on during the event. So,
All right. Question number 2. This is from Jen. Jen says, hey, I've got 90 plus items all ready to go, entering in the show, and I went to register and it says you're full. Is that for real?
That's for real. We've been full now for probably about the last 4 or 5 days. Registration is full. So at this time we can't take any more consignors.
Is there any way that a person could actually consign?
Well, a couple ways you can consign or try to get in is one is just check the website. Every so often somebody will unregister realizing they just can't attend or something else came up on their calendar so they won't be able to participate. Another way is if you really want to get in, if you're willing to do a Saturday sort, and that's in 2 different shifts, you can either do the 11:15 to 5 o'clock volunteer shift or the 1:15 to 7. If you're willing to do a Saturday sort, either one of those, we can get you registered. So
and folks, that's because we know exactly how many people it takes to run the entire show, to include sorting everything back in a very time-constrained order. So obviously we can only take on so many people if we have so many sorters, so that will allow us to flex just a little bit, but those are very limited opportunities if that's the kind of thing that you want to do. The other thing is, Marianne, that Tags R Us, they do have they're a tagging service that's not necessarily affiliated with Just Like New, but they're one of our consignors and has been in volunteer for a long time. They're allocated a certain number of slots also, so if you were to utilize their tagging service, you can read about that on our tagging page. There's a link on the left-hand column for Tags R Us if that interests you as well.
And she does a great job. She's been with us, folks, for several years. She knows her pricing, and she priced for a lot of folks last event, and she did. Everybody was extremely happy.
Jamie writes in and says, hey, do coats and snow pants count for the 100-item clothing limit?
Yes, they do. Anything that fits on a hanger goes on the hanger as far as the clothing item fits, counts towards your 100-piece clothing limit. However, for the fall event, the one thing that does not count towards your clothing limit that's on a hanger is your Halloween costumes.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, so all your Halloween costumes, you can bring as many as you want, as many as you have, and that doesn't count. They're totally separated. But anything else that's on a hanger, one clothing item counts towards a 100-piece.
Here's a follow-on to that question, and that is, are short sleeve shirts and short sleeve stuff allowed at the fall sale? The answer to that is, if it's something that a child would utilize between the fall show and the spring show, then it's probably all right. If they're not really going to use it, then it really belongs probably in the opposite show.
And the one thing about the fall and winter event too, Dan, is the items are larger and bulkier and bigger, so they take up a lot of room. So I would try to stay away from the short sleeve shirts and try to save those for the spring, because obviously people are looking for that wintry, that heavier type of clothing.
All right, Katie writes in, I think this was from Facebook, I'm not sure. Do you accept body pillows?
Yes, we do. Those are for pregnancy body pillows, and we actually get several of those and lots of those. So yes, we do take those.
Okay, how about in regards to baby bath towels? Do you put them on hangers or in bags? Do you put more than one of them together? How's that work?
That depends on pricing option. Definitely on pricing, your item has to at least be $2 or more. So if you have to put two together to come up with that $2, I would then recommend doing that. I would also suggest not sticking it on hangers. We have a lot of big metal wired baskets and stuff, and all those baby blankets, receiving blankets, and bottles, and all those odds and ends go all in that very nicely. So if you put it on a hanger, it's not going to have we don't have a place really to hang it. So I would recommend sticking it in a Ziploc bag.
I got to chuckle over Katie's comment. She puts a little smiley face at the bottom of her note, and she says, hey, this is my first year of doing this, so you'll probably hear back from me again with some other questions. Folks, that's all right. That's okay. You know, we understand it's a learning process. You're not going to jump into your first show and do everything perfect. We understand that. The only thing we would ask is that you put forth a little bit of effort in reading through the website, reading through our checklists, and watching and following these videos, because we're hopefully doing it so that it helps you out. All right, Amy. Amy's got a question for you. Just want to run something by you. Would it be acceptable to attach clothing to hangers with a plastic tagging gun, and what is your policy on tagging guns?
I would try to stay away from this. I would prefer using safety pins to attach the items. Tagging gun, the one thing that we run into, and I've even considered going away with the tagging guns, is sometimes people use the larger size needle, which they're in children's clothing sometimes can puncture a hole in it. So I would say safety pins definitely work nicer, hold the items on nicer. So on that, I would try to stay away from the tagging gun. I know the consignors love using the tagging gun when putting the tag on the item because it goes a lot faster. We ask on if you're using a tagging gun, try to keep it as close as you can in the original area, but try to find a seam as well so it's not putting a hole right in the middle of the shirt. Okay,
very good. All right, and our last question comes from a drop-off volunteer. She says, Laura, I'm a drop-off volunteer, and I was wondering if I could coordinate bringing my own items in on Tuesday as well. Not sure if that's permitted. Please let me know. Thanks.
Hey, first we'd like to say thanks for volunteering.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate that. The other thing is with our volunteers, when you are there for your volunteer shift, we need you in position doing your volunteer shifts. So in Laura's situation there, I would say when drop-off slots open up, to try to either get a slot before your volunteer shift or right after your volunteer shift. And then we would just treat you just like we would anybody else. We'd have her come up as a consignor, and the volunteers that are working when she's dropping off would then assist her with her drop-off.
But we'll make it work out one way or the other so that you don't have to make two trips.
Absolutely.
We'll figure out a way to do that. Well, that pretty much wraps up the mailbag for today, September 1st, Saturday. September 1st. Wow, that sounds scary. You know what that means?
Uh-oh.
That means like 14 days until the portal closes. Woo!
Woo, get it going.
Time to get going. Hey, guys, join us on Facebook. Friend us. Share your postcards. Everybody on the mailing list should have gotten theirs last week. Subscribe and comment to our Just Like New Tube YouTube channel. If you've got a suggestion on how to do something better, throw it our way. We'd appreciate it. So for today's edition,
I'm Mary Ann.
I'm Dan. Thanks for joining us.
Bye for now.